Hey, what you reading on these quarterbacks, man? Anything you
Well,
heard?
glad you asked, good buddy.
Yeah,
Because one of our starting centers
Brailsford.
is he's really impressed with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and matter of fact, our buddy Mark Rogers talked with Stephen M. Smith today. Shout out to our buddy Stephen M. from the Bama Standard Network and Sprout and the Pale City Football. He does a great job with the social media for Pale City Football. And I just gotta say that he and Mark talked a little bit about the quarterback battles,
Mm-hmm.
and I was pretty impressed with it, and it was pretty cool. Like we're getting things rocking and rolling, and
Mm-hmm.
like Austin Mack, he's just like you think he's that forgotten child, but really and truly, he's letting everybody know, hey, y'all got one other quarterback. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just Keelan Russell and Ty Simpson. You
Mm-hmm.
got me as well.
Yeah.
He's just like stepping up his game. And
Mm-hmm. And
would you?
he's only a sophomore.
Uh huh.
He, he's only a sophomore. He's going into sophomore season. I'm gonna predict this, Jack. Now, like Saban, I think, I think, I think going in it's gonna be Simpson. And we've had some, last seemed like for a lot of the Saban years, we always had quarterback, competition because I mean he's recruiting the best. You're bringing in the best players, and it's hard to make a prediction. And proofs on the field until they get out there under the bright lights, and it's real. It's the real stuff, not practice. And everybody can be a practice All-American, but can you perform in the clutch and that kind of stuff? And so I think it's going to be Simpson going in, start the season. I think it is going to be him. I've heard great things about him the whole his entire couple of years down there, and I think he's got good speed, good arm, and so I think in the end, I think he'll be the one. Now, obviously, first 2 or 3 games, we'll see if he, how successful, and then who knows what happens after that. But I think DeBoer will follow Saban's you know pattern, and it may be DeBoer's pattern too. Is go with the guy was number 2 last year. Why all of a sudden would he not be number 2 or number 1? Excuse me, and just move up the hierarchy and give him a shot. See what happens. And then if he gets in the game, many times a lot of Cooper Bateman, people in Alabama, all of these former quarterbacks came in under the hype and got the opportunity and everything didn't work out well at the time, and then go from there. But I think he's the guy. It's got to go through him.
Yeah. Yeah, because
So
I
not
mean,
no knock on any other quarterbacks, but I think he's the guy. He was number 2. He should be first up. I mean,
there you
Austin Mack was there. He was not, Ty Simpson was number 2 all last year. So
yeah.
he's
Well,
first up.
would you compare this like which quarterback battle like from all the years of watching college football and Alabama football? Which would you compare this year's edition of the quarterback battle for Alabama like to say 2011, 2016? Like what year would you compare it to exactly?
Um, I would look at it. I don't know, the Jake Coker. What year was that?
That was the 2015 season.
Was it Jake and Blake Sims?
Yeah, that was 2014. Yeah, because like everybody assumed Coker was going to be the starter right away, but then Blake Sims became the starter.
Yeah, and then Coker, he was a transfer from Florida State, if I
Yep.
remember. But I remember that one, and then he was a Mobile guy. He was an Alabama guy, and was at Florida State. He was backup for Jameis Winston. Florida State had 2 Alabama guys, Jameis Winston and Jake Coker, and then he transferred in. And I remember that. And then I was proud to see that things worked out for him because he was really underrated as far as when the battle began and that kind of stuff, and then stepped up and was a really, did a really, really good job. He was a surprise. So I'm always kind of leaning toward stories like that. I know Andrew Zhao. We had so many way back when, and
Oh yeah, in
Blake
2000.
Barnett, Cooper Bateman, all these people that came in with all this, these accolades, and were given the opportunity, and then boom, didn't work out too well. And then you had Jalen Hurts, and the opposite of that, Jalen Hurts came in. And I think that was a Southern Cal game. Blake Barnett was a quarterback, and then they pulled in Jalen. I don't know if he was a I think he was a redshirt freshman, and I mean, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah,
Phenomenal. Wound up being the quarterback and all SEC and all of that, and then boom, go to the Tua. I mean, there's been some good ones. Go to the Tua and Jalen Hurts scenario, and then Tua comes in, wins the national championship against Georgia. Then the next year, Tua's out, and here comes Jalen. So, oh man, just crazy stuff. And I mean, epic battles. So I don't know if I can name one. I do remember way back, really enjoying the Coker storyline coming in from Florida State and doing a good job for us in that scenario. 101, 98.
There we go.
Still cooking.
Miss Barker stepping it up.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, yeah, it was like I was impressed that like Jake Coker like toughed it out. Like that was the impressive part. He didn't he toughed it out for 2015. I thought that was cool. But yeah, Zal, like I remember looking back at it that like 2000, that was a terrible year. But Andrew Zal like came back in late into 2001. We defeated Auburn, upset them. So it's like, oh man, it's like, man, that was
DeBose?
No, that was Dennis Franchione in 2001.
Franchione, yeah, and I was at that Auburn game down there, and it was it was a running back. Oh gosh, I cannot believe I'm getting old. But it was at Auburn, and we came in, and I mean, I was there in the stadium, and Auburn, it just, and then Alabama just came out of nowhere and beat Auburn that season. And Franchione got to Texas A&M, whatever, and
Karma got Franchione.
Yeah, Karma got
Oklahoma. Oklahoma destroyed the 77-0. Like, oh my God, that was glorious. It's like, oh, you defeated Texas 2 straight years. Yeah, you still got to go.
Yeah.
Why do we not?
He was sitting in a great situation in Alabama. Had a chance to really do some special things. I got to go to Texas A&M.
I guess it turned
out too well.
He should have toughed it out against that moron Phil Farmer. But anywho, that's another history lesson for another day.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, our QB issue, like and this is something I've been wondering for several weeks, and I'm going to continue to wonder this during the continuation of the off season and this spring. But I wonder if we're going to be seeing Simpson just like come in for the first few games of the season, and then we see Russell step in at like game 6 or 7 of the season.
Well, bottom line is going to be you got to prove, you got to put some numbers up. And so we'll see what Simpson, if his numbers are good, he's going to be there. If he's puts it up and you can't take him out, and yeah, we can give, you can create a package for these great guys and stuff like that. And I have no problem, create a package and let them, do what they can do. But at the same token, you got in the crunch, you got to have the guy that can produce in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line. You got to have that guy. And if you want to create a package for, Keelan Russell, then that's fine. Austin Mack, that's fine. But at the end of the game, you got to have, the guy who is your guy. And if Simpson starts playing and puts up the numbers and proves that he's got what it takes, and got to give it to him.
Exactly.
I don't mind packages and showcasing and letting, that puts pressure on the defense. But in the end, if you got a starting quarterback and he's producing, all you're going to do if you start mixing them around, you're just going to create controversy. It's confusing for the players.
Oh yeah.
That's the worst part. Fans are, whatever, but the players, they got to know. And usually the players know. And when you're in practice, all right, during the spring and the fall, who's the man. You know what I'm saying? You know who's that quarterback should be out there. There's no doubt. Players know.
Oh yeah. Like
And
the players will know it, but I don't think we'll get much of an answer until fall camp or like the end of it. Like, cause we'll know by then on who's going to be the starter. I don't think there's going to be like an announcement until I'd say either the week before or the week of Florida State for week 1 of the 2025 season. We'll know by that time. I don't think we're going to get an
here's a little added caveat to that. If somebody really stands out in the spring, I mean, if Simpson proves that, because players already have respect for him because, he was a backup quarterback and he's been there a while. So if he comes out of the spring and he's, players are going to know and he's a guy, then name him. Go ahead. Why wait? Why, add fuel to the chaos? Go ahead and name it. But yeah, like you said, if you're unsure and you need a little more proof, a little more evidence, more practice, see how they perform in critical situations, then yeah, wait till the fall. And Alabama's done that. Saban's done that. And so other coaches have done that. But, we'll see what DeBoer and we'll see how it works for Simpson. If he proves it in the spring, then go ahead and name him.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of the way. No controversy going in the fall. This is our quarterback. This is the way it's going to be.
Agree.
Best thing you can do is eliminate any doubt as soon as you can, but the player has to be the one to eliminate the doubt, not the coaches. And if you do that as a player, then coaches realize it, they know, and we move on.
Exactly.